Oh, bloody hell, I've got caught here.
My name is Ellie.
This episode, I'm going to be talking about autism meltdowns.
This is a space for self-growth, healing, and honest conversations. If you're growing, healing, or just figuring things out, you're in the right place.
And today's video, I'm talking about autism meltdowns. As an autistic or ADHD person, I say, well, I have autism, don't I? I'm going to say a little bit about me, about my process of my autism diagnosis, and where I am today, how meltdowns make me feel. But I'm going to talk about meltdowns because I know quite a lot about them. I've had them a lot of my life, which people thought were just tantrums. They were just generally me shutting down. And I've had kind of one today. When I was younger, I look back at my nursery book, like this nursery book I had, and it basically said I would rock back and forth. I'd rather speak to the staff there, and I think in general I was like classed as being more behind. And I'd always kind of like the same toys and stuff. Even now I like the same sort of things. I like structure, I like routine. I just like to stay, and then I'll usually have a meltdown if my change and routine and structure just get completely messed up. It used to be often before, but then it started to get simpler in this way. Like, not simpler, but it's got easier for me because I know how to manage it a bit more. And of course, without that, it wouldn't be me. And you know, if you are in the same position, you have to be nice to yourself when you have it, because there's nothing worse than telling yourself you're not good enough, you need to do this and that, when you are in a meltdown and you're in burnout, as I would say. Not meltdown, I class it as when you're in burnout and it's been a bit too much for you, and you just have to take a breath and you just have to step back. So, and then I remember in primary school I'd get really sensitive a lot easier, and whenever I get in trouble for talking, it was always talking because again, my ADHD side was always waffling like blah blah. I would get really, really upset, and I would be classed as naughty for it, because obviously when you used to talk, you'd be classed as naughty, wouldn't you, in like primary school, whatever. But just wasn't talked about enough. Back in my day, 8-9 years ago, it wasn't seen as much, and yeah, I feel, looking back, really harshly judged. I wish someone had just told me that it was okay and I wasn't naughty, I was just having a moment. Obviously I like to talk, and a lot of people in school just get classed as that one. That's not actually what they're like. They just work in a different way. And it's unfair. Anyways, rambling back to my points. Yeah, and then I think year 7 was the worst for me. I hated mainstream school. I'm a creative person, and I really feel like, again, ADHD people and people who struggle in school, not even just people with that, but in general, it's just not made for them. The school system is old, and it's just the way it's ran. It's unfair, it's harsh, and it's a really relatable thing. Gonna get a drink a second. Ooh, should we go for a rainbow one? Oh, it gives it out. Yes, let's lighten up the mood. Yeah, so I really think the school system is unfair, even now. And this is why I like to advocate for people, because I know how it feels to go through stages of life, I'm 18 now, and feel absolutely misunderstood, trampled on, and how would I say now? Now, I'm getting there, girl, I'm getting there. Now I can speak to my therapist about it, she knows, and I know what it is. It's a label for something I've been feeling my whole life. And it doesn't dictate who I am, because that is a part of me, but I do have another part of me that is me, and it isn't just related to my label, right? But you guys get it if you have diagnosis or in a process you want one. It changes for a lot of people, even just knowing, and some people it might not change. It might make them start to feel grief, guilt, even parents. I've seen it all. I've read things about it, because I was definitely from about 5 or 4 years ago, I was like, I definitely have this. I wasn't self-diagnosing, but I was like, everyone thinks so. I'm not saying it out of the blue. I am researching, And yeah, as long as it doesn't get take wrong to people, there's nothing wrong with realizing you think you might have something, as long as like you don't take it to the extreme and make it for attention and all this thing. And because I know people would disagree with that and go, oh, you shouldn't self-diagnose, and I understand that, but that is basically, in a way, the only way you can if you know you have it, because it's like some people go, oh yeah, I'm in denial with it, but like I guess if you want a diagnosis, you kind of need to know roughly there's something there. Not even the exact one, because my mum thought I had dyslexia, but it wasn't that. I actually have dyscalculia as well. Got three things. Yeah. But you need to have, what I'm saying is some self-awareness. And doesn't mean you need to blur it out if you don't know. It's just you need some self-awareness. I could waffle on about this for ages, autism, and about meltdowns and burnout, and yeah, I don't like saying meltdowns, but it is kind of what it is, isn't it? Meltdowns just sounds unfair. I'd say burnout. Burnout. I class it as meltdowns, but it does seem whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. What was my process? So I'm okay now, but long, unfair, and misunderstood process. Because I'm a woman, I did this in my last project in college. It is so much harder to get recognised, and autism, I've read up, it's a lot harder to get, is a longer process. I don't know, because ADHD and autism are so very similar but different. I had to go for an interview assessment, and then I had to then do another online one for an hour, and it was just so personal. It was you feel like you're screaming for help sometimes. You really do, when you've literally just explained it the first time. And this is where the system has failed. There's not enough help with it. And I'll always advocate for people, not even with those things, but people who struggle and people who have bad mental health, because I know how it feels. And being autistic, people will think you're weird, you're so different, you shouldn't be like that, that you have your own quirks, you might dress a little bit different to someone else, and people will just think that it's not normal and it's not okay. And it makes me really disappointed, because it isn't the neurotypical people, it's not their fault, it's the system in place that has not been talked about enough. Teachers, all these people don't know enough about it. I've done my research and I've been through the system to know there needs to be more of awareness, not even just ADHD month or mental health awareness month. It should be something every day, and some people only like to consider it when it is those times, and it's unfair. It's the system, it's not always the people, it is the system. But it's annoying because some people are ignorant to it, and there's a whole different categories for it. It makes me disappointed. I always find sometimes the people who've gone through the worst are usually the nicest, and not always 100%, but from my experience, as I was saying, my experience is what I've seen. But then some people aren't always the nicest, are they, if they've gone through stuff, which is understandable. It's just the way you choose to then make your future different. Like, you don't have to be someone you've been brought up to if you're not happy with it, but it is easier said than done to try and get out of that, so I understand. But from my experience, what I've seen, because obviously I'm someone who's gone through things and I've come out, I'd say a good end, yeah, and I'm proud of that. So yeah, burnout is, you don't choose to be burnt out. So much gets on top of you, and for example, today I lied in bed for 3 hours. I could not get up. I was upset. My mum had to check on me, because it's just what we have to deal with. And there are things you can put in place to stop it, but it's just something a part of us. And it's so frustrating, because we beat ourselves up, especially me, because I'm a perfectionist. I know that for sure. I'm trying not to be. I'm getting better. But I was just like, I feel really lazy. This is the fight I used to have before my diagnosis. I used to think about things but never do it. But like, it was always in my head, and then I'd always get burnout because I was thinking about something, because of my ADHD, thoughts would go everywhere. I was like, no, this isn't actually something I'm choosing. It's something my brain doesn't like, and it's just burnt out, and it's like telling me I need a break. Working, I cannot work every single day doing the same thing. There's no structure, and I know that. I need some structure. And the only really job that at the moment that works for me is more like creative ones, because I feel like I can just be myself. And a lot of, again, ADHD people are more creative. I don't actually know why we are. I think we just see patterns more, and we just have such a creative visual, and a lot of us strive to do better, don't we? I don't know. I think so. I haven't read enough into it. I like to read into things like that. But yeah, it's burnout. Not nice. And I've seen so many things on TikTok. I can relate to people. Oh my god. And then some people say you're childish, and that's where it's like, hold on, that's a line you've just crossed. Or, like you have no idea what it's like. I feel like sometimes, personally, people put things out and say things when they're feeling insecure inside, or they just have no idea. And again, the system haven't taught them that it's okay to be like that. Like, it's annoying because it feels like neurodivergent people are fighting with neurotypical people. It feels like we're both separate groups of people when we should be mushed together. I don't know why it's not being talked about. Maybe because research and study and science about it has only been like a thing over the past few years, and the world is still trying to get used to how to explain it to everyone. Don't know. I really don't know. But a lot of people say we do have super brain powers. Like, I don't like settling. I like to settle to something I feel is fair. I take unfairness very personally. My mum says, you're not just someone who settles, you strive. And I go, I strive. 100%. I strive and I keep bloody going. And I always look up to people who I feel like are so inspirational and are doing good for the world. But yeah, this is kind of just a brief one about burnout. Should make some more videos on this. I don't know, I don't want to be scripted, I'd rather be genuine. And yeah, I remember when I was younger, I used to bloody talk to the camera, and now I'm bloody doing it actually and posting it. So I'm quite proud of that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, bye.